Hi everyone, I wanted to take this time to move in a little bit of a different direction with our It's As Easy as AAC videos. We've talked a little bit about some tools and tricks that we can use for modeling to get by into therapy and things like that, but I really wanted to make more of a comprehensive idea for the future. So my goal is for us to talk a little bit about who is AAC good for, why it might be good for them, move into goals, which will obviously be based off of why the student uses AAC, how to take data on those goals, and then move back into some of those tips and tricks. So let's get started. So today we're going to start at the very beginning. Who is AAC good for? And when we say AAC, I mean the core boards that we're implementing in rooms and those high-tech communication devices and anything in between that we might run into. So who is AAC good for? It's good for those kiddos with expressive communication deficits. I'm thinking those kiddos that their ability to develop or use their oral language is inhibited by something. That could be a motoric thing, like some of those kids who might have some childhood apraxia of speech or some motor issues. Students who have reduced intelligibility from maybe a severe phonological processing disorder to some of those kiddos who just have, it's hard to understand them sometimes, maybe increased nasality, things like that. And those with limited language abilities. And typically, those are the kiddos we generally think of. But also, it could be a really good tool for anybody who's in the process of learning language or building language, because it's a great visual that's always consistent for them. So those main ones that we've used them for are those kids with the motor issues, reduced intelligibility, and the limited language output. And so that might help us choose what board we're using with them or what device we're using with them. And like I said, it could also be great for those kids who just have a language deficit. Maybe we're seeing them in speech or we're working on building sentences in the classroom. So if anybody's interested in getting a big giant core board like I used to have back there in their classroom, just shoot me an email and I'll work on making one for you. So I hope that today helps you kind of understand why we use AAC and who it's good for, because it can help us repair communication breakdowns for those kids with a reduced intelligibility. And it can help us build sentences for those kids with limited language output, or those kiddos who aren't speaking verbally can then let their needs be known and communicate via the chaining of pictures. And for those kids with that motor speech issue, it's really powerful for them to have something with them all the time that they can make a sentence with, and then it will speak for them, and then they have that consistent model that they can go back to and practice. So whenever we're looking at recommending AAC for someone, it's never something that we are thinking they're going to need this for the rest of our lives. Like any other student, we're hoping that they'll be verbal and that this is a tool to help us get there. So hope I was able to help you understand why AAC and who's it good for. Thanks.